So I'll just start off by talking about Terrance Howard and the best parts about Terrance Howard. Because everybody gets hung up on that whole mathematic approach that he's trying to bring to the table. And I'll give you a quick spiel on my take on that is he's not wrong. His mathematical approach has a place, but it's some type of three-dimensional math that we don't really know how to apply in our version of reality. It has a place, but as far as we are concerned, as far as paper, drawing up plans or dealing with money, stuff like that, two-dimensional math, whatever we have works for us. Something like that. Even though there's, I think the laws in the banking system is rigged. I don't think it's the math. I could be wrong, because Terrance has some good points on that. But that's my quick take on his mathematical approach. The number one reasons that you want to actually bring up Terrance Howard is because he talks about that spiral version of the periodic table. And he's not the one that made that table. He did not draw that up. He discovered that in his vision, which is an awesome story, and that's why you need to go listen to his Joe Rogan's and then anything else he does. Very interesting. Because somebody else brought that table to public knowledge well before Terrance Howard did. Can't think of that gentleman's name. He has many books that came out. He's just an artist. So he must have done the same thing. He must have discovered it, had some form of knowledge. I don't know how or if he actually did the gentleman that Terrance Howard's referring to, where he discovered the real version of what he saw. Well, anyways, the spiral periodic table, that's what you want to focus on from Terrance's, what he's trying to bring to more of a public knowledge, like try and get more people using these things versus having it just kind of be off to the side, unknown, and not really utilized. Because it's a better form. It allows you to see the relationship a little bit more clearly. And we all know everybody has different approaches to learning. And so if he's got a different way to show the relationship, there's going to be people that see different things faster, a little easier. It's going to appeal to a larger group of people. So it's good that he's doing that. But one of the most important parts to bring up about Terrance Howard in conversation, if you really want to talk about Terrance Howard, is his linchpin design, right? It's seemingly the last thing you want to talk about with Terrance Howard because it's hard to talk about. Well, it's really not that hard to talk about because there's so many things to talk about based on the linchpin. I mean, he's got that aircraft that he did a competition to have people design, but also, he did some kind of configuration of linchpins, sent it through a computer simulation, and what did it do? It recreated Saturn. That's what you want to talk about. That's the mind-blowing part about Terrance Howard. That's why he's talked about. That is insane. He somehow figured out what is at the very core of Saturn, just by random chance. That's crazy talk. Because necessity is the mother of all invention. So, he was just messing around with some building block out of some form of necessity and invented Saturn. Imagine inventing a planet by accident, right? Somehow, there's some very strange coincidences. That's what you want to talk about, because is that a coincidence? Did he actually do that? Where did this linchpin come from? What is the whole story behind this? That's where we need to dig. Give Terrance Howard credit nonetheless for bringing that to light. The fact that is the core of Saturn. How he figured that out, how, what the real story is, will we ever know? Who knows? That's what you want to talk about. Because there's religions based on it, Jewish and Muslim. The cube on the forehead, the hexagonal shape is just a three-dimensional representation of a cube from a side angle. What's crazy though is that does this prove that space exists, or like what is Saturn just beyond the firmament? Because there's proof that the Earth is flat. There's proof that the Earth is oblique and round. There's proof that it could be a donut Earth, could be hollow Earth, but then the hollow aspect could refer to flat and round, and then flat could also refer to round. Maybe we're just not getting the whole picture of a round Earth, and we only have this little tiny pie slice in the shape of a circle on a round Earth, or it's just some massive pancake. And it's not just one little tiny single world pancake. Who knows? Because there's toroidal proof of the magnetic field that lines up with all three. And then if I go on further in this video, I'll bring up all kinds of evidence that points more heavily towards the Earth being flat, or at least the part of the Earth or the world that we get to experience is as flat as a pancake as far as we're concerned. Whether that is part of a bigger spherical Earth, or if it just is a part of another larger pancake, or if we are the only part of the pancake, we see the entire pancake, who knows? I'm not sure. I really am not sure. I have no idea about that. I do want to say, though, it points more heavily towards flat Earth. From what I can say, the way you can still see the sun, after zooming in, the way you can still see cities after zooming in, the way you can still see boats after zooming in, the way the horizon doesn't bend. There's a lot of things that point towards the Earth, or what we experience as the Earth, as far as what we're allowed to experience, is flat. So like if you were to draw out on a map, our map would not turn into a sphere. Our map would stay flat. But if you pull all the way out on the map, maybe there's more to the map. Maybe the rest of the map bends around into a sphere, but it's just insanely large. There's proof. Look up proof of dragons, and you'll start to see that all that evidence of flat Earth is more so true. Do I want to end it like that? It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. So this just plays into the duality, right? Like Republican versus Democrat. How does that even... they're both the same. They both go to the same place. Yeah, so the flat Earth and the round Earth, it's sort of funny how they're kind of like Republican Democrat. They both are the same thing. And then, if there's a firmament over the Earth, then how is there a Saturn? I don't know, man. This is nuts. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy.